The story begins with two young girls recounting the previous weekend's activities, during which one of them, Katie Embry, played by Amber Tamblyn, traveled to a mountain cabin to spend time with some friends. During the conversation, the subject of a rumored cursed videotape is brought up. Rebecca Becca Kotler, Rachel Bella, claims that anyone who watches this video will receive a phone call in which a voice says, "You will die in 7 days." The viewer then dies exactly 7 days, to the minute, after watching the tape. Katie says, horrified, that she watched the tape with 3 friends at the cabin 7 days ago. Katie is inexplicably slain while Becca is watching after a series of strange happenings, including a television in the house turning itself on and spooky sounds, prompting her to be institutionalized in a mental facility. The film then introduces Katie's aunt, Rachel, played by Naomi Watts, a Seattle-based journalist. Aidan, Katie's cousin, was also a dear buddy and seemed to be sensitive to psychic phenomena. Aidan's teacher informs Rachel that he had been sketching pictures of his cousin dead in the dirt for several days before Katie died. Rachel's sister urges her to investigate her daughter's death at Katie's burial, and as she begins, she discovers the videotape. Her research takes her to the same mountain cottage where Katie and her companions watched the tape. She discovers the tape and finally watches it. The phone then rings, and a girl says, 7 days. She calls Noah, Aidan's father, the next day to see the footage. Noah is snarky and suspicious of the relationship between the films and the deaths, but Rachel grows increasingly convinced after photographs of her reveal her face badly twisted, an effect that was also visible in photographs of Katie and her friends the day after seeing the tape. Noah examines the tape and requests a copy for additional study. Unfortunately, Aidan watches the tape a few days later, just as Rachel is beginning to believe it contains something hazardous. Noah phones Rachel the next day and tells her that he believes her claims about the tape after seeing himself in a convenience store camera with a hazy face. As he speaks to her on the phone, we see a stack of developed images of Noah, all of which have his face twisted. Strange things begin to happen to Rachel and, presumably, anybody else who has seen the cursed images after watching the film. She has horrific dreams, nosebleeds, and strange unreal scenarios. Such as when she pauses a section of the cursed tape in which a fly is running across the screen, she finds she is able to pluck it from the monitor. Rachel's investigation shifts to the video itself, which shows an apparently random series of frightening, grainy, black and white pictures. Investigating those photographs leads Rachel to Anna Morgan, the woman on the tape, who raised horses on Mosco Island with her husband and daughter. Rachel learns about a mysterious tragedy that occurred at the Morgan Ranch, in which all of the horses appeared to go insane, killing themselves while attempting to flee the ranch. This undoubtedly led to Anna Morgan becoming seriously depressed and committing herself shortly after entering a mental facility. Rachel visits the Morgans' home and meets Richard Morgan, who refuses to discuss the video or his daughter. Rachel visits the local doctor to inquire about the Morgan family. Anna desired a kid more than everything, according to the old doctor, but she was never able to bring a pregnancy to term. They left one winter and returned with Samara, whom they adopted. After a while, Anna began to complain about visions that only occurred when Samara was there, so she committed them both to a mental institution on the mainland. Noah visits the institute and discovers that Anna Morgan's file is missing a video. Rachel returns to the Morgans' home and finds the tapes of Samara's chats with the doctor. Samara says timidly that she does not mean to hurt anyone around her, but it won't stop. Rachel is challenged by Richard Morgan after watching the tape of Samara's chat. Richard Morgan has put all of the equipment in the house into his bathroom since the bathtub is overflowing with water. He claims the girl was evil before killing himself by reclining in the bathtub and turning on the gadgets via a switch-controlled extension wire around his neck. Noah arrives at the house shortly after Richard's death, and he and Rachel proceed to the barn to find a little room where Samara was confined by her father. They locate a burned image of a tree recognized from the camera recording behind the wallpaper, and Rachel recalls seeing it near the cabin at Shelter Mountain Inn. We can deduce from this that Samara has the extraordinary capacity to mistakenly burn images into the minds of the horses and her parents, forcing her mother to commit suicide. Rachel and Noah leave the Morgan farm for the Shelter Mountain Inn, where they uncover a well beneath the floor. Rachel is escorted to the location of Samara's death, at the bottom of a well. Rachel falls into the well after being struck by a falling TV, allegedly by Samara, and discovers Samara's body. Samara, or at least her not completely dead body, uses her power to show Rachel that Anna attempted to smother Samara with a garbage bag and try to end the craziness caused by Samara's ability, eventually dumping her body in the well. However, as Samara lowers and watches her mother close the well, her eyes open, and a startled Rachel discovers that Samara is still alive. Rachel contacts the authorities, and Samara, whose body quickly decomposes in Rachel's arms after Rachel awakens from the vision, is given a dignified burial, presumably to rest her spirit. Noah asks Rachel how long she thinks she could survive imprisoned in a well, and she predicts 7 days. At this time, it appears like everything is back to normal, and Rachel informs Aidan that Samara will no longer bother them. Aidan swiftly corrects her and adds that Samara's spirit has been liberated, as evidenced by the marks on his arm, which Samara gave to Rachel in a nightmare. In the film's most disturbing and iconic sequence, Noah is checking through some film prints in his apartment when his TV becomes static, just like Rachel's niece Katie did before her death. Noah nonchalantly switches it off before the TV turns itself back on, alerting Noah. He is then shown a repeating image of a well, with a long-haired female figure, Samara, crawling out and slowly walking toward the screen. It becomes more intense as Noah hurriedly backs away and Samara crawls out of the television set. In terror, Noah knocks down a shelf and crawls away before coming around, only to have Samara stare him down, causing his death, which Rachel discovers after racing to his apartment. Rachel goes home and tears up the tape, trying to comprehend why she was spared but Noah was slaughtered. After watching the film, She learns that the only way to get away from Samara is to create a copy of the tape and present it to someone else, thereby completing the cycle. Rachel made a copy to show Noah, but Noah did not make any copies. The film concludes with Rachel assisting Aiden in making a duplicate of the tape. As the tape copy is being created, Aiden turns to his mother, Rachel, and wonders who will watch the tape. Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe for more videos.